Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses Snake investigating. So, guys, wow, I've been very absent, as you know. I meant to make a video earlier, but I got sidetracked with many things. And I also spoke to Karina today. Karina's doing well, by the way. I know you asked about her. She's just, taking her time. Okay, she's living her life. And she says hi, but everything is okay. Okay, it is a difficult time for many of us, right? Because it's so intense. So anyway, it's of course there's so much going on, and I was home, so it was hard to record because of my situation, as I told you. And so it's almost 10 o'clock local time, and it's come out that Trump has folded basically, and has agreed to a so-called ceasefire. Now, guys, I was following a lot the details of the situation of the pilot, the so-called pilot rescue, which I think is all mostly BS. Okay. What it looks like it was an operation to steal the uranium from Iran. It didn't work. They were caught. And God knows there's a lot of unaccounted for service members that they are lying about, honestly. And they created this whole cover story. And what's interesting about it is that the so-called leaks about the situation came from an Israeli journalist and other people that are, let's say, suspicious, okay? And it feels like we're being led to this war by these forces that are not, it's not for our own interest, right? I think they said that there's a journalist close to Bibi who leaked the story first. Meet something. I don't remember his last name, but that's where we are, okay? And the story was so dumb, really, and it made no sense, right? They said that there was that they went to rescue a pilot, but they sent these huge airplanes, and they lost so many airplanes, so much equipment. It's just a war of stupidity, really, and lives are being lost. And I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out, a greater circle, I step into it, I feel protected, I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good knowledge of the So this is the medal of the Saint Benedict. So, by the way, happy belated Easter. And it was powerful, the message from the Pope, right? And I'm not saying no, it's not like people get mad that I am clear about my faith, okay? But you know how everybody is different, right? It's just that at this time, it's important. I pray a lot, pray a lot. So anyway, the point is that here we are, and Trump has folded. Now, I was also, when I made the video, I really felt it that Trump had lost support. He's not, like, there's very little that's holding him up, and I think this moment looks like things have finally crumbled. They're crumbling. There's no way forward for the orange thing. And it really is like, let's look at this. The situation is ridiculous. Okay, let's share. All right, so all right. Okay, so US and Iran agreed to 2-week ceasefire. Announcement came 90 minutes before Trump imposed oh wait, hold on. All right. Iran war live updates. US and Iran agreed to ceasefire, avoiding Trump's threats of imminent devastation. Now, guys, I was scared, even though I had seen, right, that I don't think it's going to win. I don't think it's going to go that far. Thank God, because the situation is very dire. It's not as if these are people that are fighting for their whole country. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them, but they have rights, right? So here it is. The Pakistan broker deal was reached shortly before President Trump's deadline for Iran to agree to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face the death of a whole civilization, quote unquote. An Iranian official said the shipping channel would be reopened with conditions. The agreement was announced by Mr. Trump in a post on social media hours after Pakistan, a mediator in this dispute, urged him to stand down from the 8 p.m. Eastern time deadline he had set for Iran to accede to his demands. Pakistan proposed that each side observe a 2-week ceasefire and that during that time, Iran allow oil, gas, and other vessels to proceed unmolested through the economically vital waterway. Okay, so Israel has also agreed to the ceasefire and will suspend its strikes on Iran for 2 weeks. Okay. So now, I want to know here what is going on. Okay, I mean, there, like I said, I don't trust, honestly, I don't trust anything that comes from the administration. So what is actually going on here? Okay, what is going on? I see him frail, bending over, and the curtain is lifted, and that's who he really is, a weak man, and he is desperate, and he has dementia, and he's being allowed to do all of this. And I think, you know, I was looking at Twitter, and finally I saw that people are like, this guy has to be, finally it feels like there's a sense of urgency in the wanting to remove the guy, the whole world, right? It's like, get this guy out. And it really feels to me, guys, that this is, I know timing is difficult to see, but he's lost. This man has lost, and I don't feel like, I think there's a lot of dark forces. They want further devastation. But let me ask this: are these forces going to win? Are they going to get what they want? I'm sorry. And then what happens next that the so-called ceasefire has been reached? So, okay, I see that BB is dragging. There's a lot of rubble. BB is dragging Trump through a chain. And I see that Trump is chained by BB, but what happens? Is he freed? He's humiliated, yet it's saying that BB humiliates Trump like Putin did. So what happens next? Yeah, I see the Saudis are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And they're not, the thing is, what happens next is that we're going to be told about the casualties and that we have been lied to. And I see the woman, Susie Wiles, interesting. I have seen her before, that as the one, she's coming out, they have to tell the truth because it's going to come out in a way or another. And now I see that they're trying to leave. They're going to try to exit that situation because it was dire. And the story, and it's saying the story about, I'd say mostly made up pilot story, is just going to be so devastating. And nobody, it's saying, I see these hearings in the future about it, and nobody's going to want to be near it. It is so egregious. And it's saying that, honestly, ICB orchestrated a lot of it and used. And because there's no real leadership, right? The guy's a bully. It's not working. I see that Jared Kushner is scared. So what is Jared Kushner going to do? What's Jared Kushner going to do? He's hacking. Okay, and then guys, you know, this is, it's so much happening. Now, the other thing that is happening is that JD Vance is somehow in Hungary, right? Because we have the election in Hungary. And as he's there, and he said he was saying Russian talking points about about here is the, let's see here, share, let me share with you. Likely in a statement drafted in the Kremlin, JD Vance says almighty Ukrainian intelligence, quote unquote, is rigging elections in both the US and Hungary. I'm not going to play for this, this, of course. So, and then there was the call, see here. I'll show you this. So let me share. So it shows what we already know, which is that Orban works for Putin. Bloomberg just dropped the Orban tapes and it reads like bad fanfic. Hungary's prime minister spent a phone call with Putin, calling him a lion, casting himself as the helpful little mouse, offering Budapest as a venue to end the war on Russia's terms, and closing with, I am at your service. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that this dropped just as JD Vance is visiting. And I was looking before this video. I talked to Corinna earlier today, and I looked into it. I didn't see Trump succeeding. I see him falling, and then I saw these airplanes over JD Vance. To me, they felt like they were NATO airplanes, and a net around JD Vance. I feel like it could be some sort of like recordings. They get information about JD Vance and his dealings with Russians, which is very obvious, right? And with all of this, with the attacks on Iran and all that, they are clear about where they stand. But now I feel like they're too afraid because the cat is out of the bag, right? This is who they are, and they're being obvious about it. Why they're being they're not hiding. They're just shoving it on our faces, right? So it really is a situation that is, myself tells me, untenable. And I see that they're going to try to show also JD Vance. I see and I feel like what's interesting is this whole thing, they're threatening to leave NATO, they're doing all these things. It only pushed the Europeans and others to get stronger and stop fearing, right? And they got together, they became united. And they're kind of not afraid anymore, because in the past they were afraid to show information. I think we're getting close to the revelation of everything. So, and I honestly, I don't feel like Trump is, has this big mouth and all that, and he's been doing that. Yes, he's been doing terrible things, but I don't think he has it's almost like the thing is hanging by a thread. And it's only, it's only a matter of, I don't know, time. Is it time? I don't know exactly what. It's complicated and why they won't do something. I don't know. But it feels like there was already news that Dan Driscoll, the Secretary of the Army, said that he is not resigning, and that people are not doing. There's a lot of news tonight about people connected to the military saying the military is saying no to their orders. They're saying no, they're not doing it. So now it's a matter of embarrassment. And I see that Trump, if he could, he would leave. But why can't Trump say he can't? He's stolen all this money, right? The amount of grift and corruption is saying the apparatus of corruption, of organized crime, is in the government, and they need him to stay. So how is what's going to happen? It's saying that JD Vance has been burnt, but burnt as some sort of acid, it's coming out. So they're going to be forced to have to remove. That's right. It's guys is showing me this thing that happened in Austria. Austria had this, their party. They were truly a NAZI party, and they were caught talking to these people pretending to be the children of oligarchs. They were Russians, right? And their government collapsed. It's saying something like that. But Trump It has been so much, but it's saying it still shows me Europeans behind it doing something about it. So so what happens to Bibi? I think that Bibi is in danger. He is the one they all have saying they're all they're gonna have to go. And that's when truth comes, about it. They have to say Iran has successfully destroyed a lot of radars and it will take a long time to recover. And it's saying a lot of American defense companies have connections to Russia because a lot of them are connected to Peter Thiel. So it is a situation that truly is almost impossible for them to survive. So just keep the faith. It feels a little closer to the end. I know, again, sometimes I feel guilty, guys, that I say to tell you these things, but that's what I pick up. As stressful it has been, as horrible as it has been. Oh, the other thing is here, he tried to go the nuclear option, but they didn't do it. Truly, they try to go to do all these things, but they couldn't do it. So I think they're gonna have to walk back. And it's gonna be humiliating for the people who participated in this. Okay. Now, I see again that for somebody like Trump, he's a psychopath, he's whatever, the worst demonic person. And he knows he has committed too many crimes. And there's all the truth about Epstein and all that coming out. Okay, okay, so where is he? And I see he shows me the image of Epstein, show me Trump as a rat inside the trash. He's done. I see it shows me interesting Epstein with this image of masks on his face, and everybody that's like his face is hiding a lot of other people's faces, so the masks drop and they're all revealed, and that's how this whole story ends. The darkness emerges. So all right, okay, so that's it for now, guys. It's so intense, right? So I wish you all the best. I know I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna keep coming back. I just wanted to give you an update. Okay. All right, so have a good night and thank you for watching. Bye.